Give me a thumbs up, man, if you're feeling good. I'm excited. Welcome to STEMedia Live. I am your host, Dr. Nehemiah Mabry. This is the place, in case you were wondering, where we chat with some of the most inspirational and creative people in the STEM community. And tonight is no exception. That's right. Major Key, yep, thumbs up. Lenore, thumbs up. Dr. H. Kelly, yes, awesome. I'm feeling good. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Of course, for many of us, I don't know how many of us, but sometimes people take days off on weekends like this. I myself took Friday off, spent some time with my family. We went through a drive-through zoo. And when I tell you that was a crazy experience, bro, it was crazy. That's right, Lenora. Yeah, I see. Thanks for noticing. Shout out to my wife. We got a new background. For those who do not know, the STEMedia Network is currently the official sponsor for STEMedia Live. Shout out to everybody that's in the network. This is the beta STEMedia Network. We have a STEMedia app, y'all. So you go to the iTunes store, go to the Google Play, download the app, give us a review. We're currently in beta. We're looking to make this the #1 destination for empowering your STEM journey, the AKA Netflix of STEM. Yeah, that's what we're doing, the STEMedia Network. Please go today, STEMedia.com. Sign up for your free 30-day trial for exclusive access to videos, interviews, podcasts, courses, and more to empower your STEM journey. Again, shout out to everybody in the network. Tamuka, good to see you, man. Investments. We're about to bring you on in just a second. But let me just say again, if you are watching this on YouTube, if you haven't been with us in a while, what up, Jenny? What up, Rachel? We are streaming this also on YouTube right now, live on the STEMedia YouTube channel. So youtube.com/STEMedia. If this is your first time, or if you just haven't subscribed yet, go to STEMedia. Go to youtube.com/STEMedia and subscribe to our STEMedia YouTube channel. We're trying to lean in, man. For those who are YouTubers, you know that there is a special change that takes place when you reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor and go to youtube.com/STEMedia and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But all right, yes, we cross streaming. You already know we're trying to expand our reach, Lenore. We're trying to expand our reach. So awesome for all of our supporters. Shout out to all of y'all. Lean in, then. That's what we're gonna do. All right, y'all, do me a favor. Give me some hearts, give me some love if you're ready for our guest. I'm about to go ahead and introduce him. This brother, man, he has just some of the best energy I have seen on social media, and I'm excited to have him. He is none other than Dr. Tamuka, a.k.a. Dr. Mook. He is our guest for this evening. He was born and raised in Jinru. I hope I said it right, Zimbabwe. He's going to pronounce this better for when he comes on. He came to America 10 years ago. Thanks, Lenore. Thanks, Teacher Geek. Good to see you. So our guest, Dr. Mook, came to the United States 10 years ago. He graduated from the oldest historically black university, or historically black college, rather, in South Carolina, which is Chaplain University. I know where that's at, Orangeburg, South Carolina. And he set his sights on the applications of protein biochemistry. He completed his Ph.D. in biochemistry at the University of Washington in Seattle in June 2019, and is now a postdoctoral biochemistry researcher at the Institute for Protein Design at UW in Seattle. His work in computational biology and protein design has been published in many high-impact journals and is now an essential worker that is actively, shout out to our essential workers, and he's an essential worker, actively contributed to the COVID vaccine. Check it out, man. He believes that visibility of underrepresented minorities in STEM is key to stimulating the future generation. And he also has a course known as Hip Hop Biochemistry. So, we got to talk to the doctor about that when he gets on. So, without further ado, let's get the hearts, let's get the love, let's get the energy going. We're about to bring and present to some, introduce to others, none other than our guest for this evening on STEMedia Live. He goes by the name of Dr. Mook, and let's give him some love right now. Let's. Boom, there he goes. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Mook, y'all give him some hearts, give him some love, man. Welcome to STEMedia Live.
Thank you so much for having me on there, Maya. This is such an honor. Thank you.
Listen, man, of course, the honor and the pleasure is all mine. I hope you can see those hearts, man. I think Instagram changed the way we see it, but I see the little hearts coming up, man. That's your applause. That's your love. We got people coming in. Yeah. For those who don't know, shout out to Keyline. Good to see you, Keyline, coming on. Welcome, Lenore says. Everybody, this is Dr. Tamuka. And we talked about this, man, how, you had a last name that people don't get to right all the time. And to be honest with you, I think when we chat, I got it right one time, but I didn't want to push my luck. You feel me? So go ahead and give us, your full name really quick as we get into this interview. I just think it's important for people to hear that, man. But give us your full name real quick, Dr. Mook.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Tamuka Martin Chidyausiku. It's definitely a typical Zimbabwean name, and so some of those syllables are not in the English language. But you did your best. I heard you say Gweru. I was like, all right.
Yeah, man. I had to tap in. I had to go deep for that, but I got it, bro. I did my best, man. Yeah. Hello, says Sham. Good to see you, y'all. This is Dr. Mook. And Dr. Mook, man, you have some of the greatest energy, and I look forward to this conversation. But let's kick things off the way we always do here on STEMedia Live, bro. And give us, if you would, a random fun fact about yourself. What is something someone wouldn't expect to hear after hearing that accomplished bio of yours?
Well, you already said that I've been here for 10 years, which is such a fact, yeah. But what people probably wouldn't know is that actually my first trip to America was before the first time I came 10 years ago. It was with my mom in her womb when she came pregnant with me, 30 years ago. And she came to the United States for a visit. And that was my official first time. Who would have known eventually I would have come to America on my own and got an education here and decided to stay, shout out to Rachel's in the comments as well. Nodding.
What up, Rachel?
So that's one fun fact. I'm also a Beyonce enthusiast. That's another.
Oh, really? So you're part of the Beehive? You're part of the Beehive?
Oh, it's on my resume. Hey, you
know what I mean? They gotta know. You know what I'm saying? I love it. So tell me something. Thank you, Jenny, for letting me know. Jenny's mentioned my audio is a bit low. Can you hear me well, Tamu?
I can hear you well. Is my audio low key? Maybe she's referring to mine.
All right, let us know if we're feeling well.
Kogan, there are two doctors here. Maybe my
yeah.
Low. I'll yell a little bit louder. Hey, Kelly.
Okay, cool. What up, Kelly? Yeah, she got the Beehive. Hey, how's it going? Shout out to some other people. We got Essie in the building. Good to see you, Essie. Good to see you, Millicent, who is waving. This is Dr. Mook. Dr. Mook.
Yes, and Lenora said, period. It has to be on the resume. No, my volume is low. Okay.
Yeah.
How do I?
Maybe you just get closer to the phone. Are you ever getting a little closer to the phone? Because I can hear you well, but I want to make sure.
I can try some earphones too.
Okay.
You better now?
We're freezing up a little bit. You good? I hear you better.
I'm good over there. Okay, you hear me better? Okay, great. Do you guys hear me better?
Yeah, give him a thumbs up if you hear him better. Give him a thumbs up in the comments. Because we got to make sure, man, we get all this. What up, Brianna? Brianna coming through. All right, man. Let's talk about it, Tamu. Tamuka, we're going to talk about the early days, man. You said you came to America in the womb of your mom. But what do you remember? Tell us a little bit about when you first came to consciousness out in Zimbabwe. What was life like out there, man? And tell us a little bit about your early days of curiosity and STEM and things like that. Take us back.
Yeah, that's actually a great lead-in question because, it is now exactly 10 years ago when I came to America. And my first landing place was South Carolina. I came for undergrad at Claflin University,
Orangeburg,
South Carolina. It's your next door, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Post, but that was my first, stomping ground was South Carolina, Orangeburg, and Claflin University. And I actually didn't know that Claflin University, I didn't know what historically black meant, actually. HBCU?
Yeah.
I thought it meant it used to be black, and now it's integrated. And so when
used to be black.
And it was like 95% black, I felt right at home. I remember walking up to somebody and talking to them in my native tongue, and they're like, wait, what?
You thought they were from Zimbabwe.
Right. It was my first time seeing other black people who did not speak my language.
Right.
And I had to learn, and hey, I taught some people as well. You know, Shauna,
yeah.
So my fraternity boards that's now all kinds of fluent in my native tongue. So, but yeah, that's what I taught at Claflin University in South Carolina.
Hold on one second, Tamuka, and that's dope. I want to get into that, but you all do me a favor. Let me know how you hear them now, because I did hear a little bit of static just now. I want to make sure we're good. Are we good? Lenore, you all hearing pretty good? Jenny, we're good now with the headphones? I just got a little static, but just want to make sure y'all are good. Y'all catch his story about coming over to Capital University and start talking in his native tongue to some of our brothers and sisters down there. Man, well, hey, I love it, because that was sort of like a good transition for you, you know, coming from the country of Zimbabwe. All right, so Lenore does hear a lot of static. I think maybe if you could try the without headphones and just get closer to the phone, maybe. Let's try that one a little bit. All right. Uh-oh, he's getting a little frozen. All right. While he's freezing up, y'all do me a favor. This guy has so much about his story that we can hear. I hear you now. Can you get closer to the phone? I guess you're good, but just maybe pull the phone down a little bit, just to make sure.
If I do this, do you hear me better now?
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you good now. Okay. I want to make sure I get your whole face though. Yeah, just make sure I get your whole face. All right, cool.
Oh, I see. Well, I need to get really close to the.
yeah, right there. It's like the perfect. It's like you got to get to the perfect spot, like the optimal spot. All right, you good. You good, man. I hope y'all can hear him well, man. I was just telling everybody that if they have a question for you, to make sure, and here he is, freeze a little bit. If y'all have a question for him, please put them in the comments, because I think he will not be shy to answer those questions. So tell everybody to put their questions for you in the comments, Dr. Mook, so that we can make sure we have an opportunity to address them.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah. But take it back to Zimbabwe, though. That's what I was interested on. Tell us a little bit about, like, your growing up, man, out in on the motherland, you know?
Yeah. I grew up I came to America when I was 19. So from the age of 0 all the way up to 19, you know, I was in Zimbabwe and in Gweru, which is a really small town compared to, you know, the rest of Zimbabwe. It's the third largest city in Zimbabwe. The capital city is Harare, and that's more dense, but Gweru is really small. And yeah, it's my mom, my dad. I grew up with one sibling, my sister. And I was naughty as a kid. I was a really naughty kid.
Man. You get in trouble? You get in trouble out there, Tamuka?
I got in trouble so much growing up. And to this day, I feel like when I see like naughty, mischievous kids, I'm like, oh, that's going to be a scientist right there.
That curiosity, man. That curiosity sometimes gets you in trouble. Yeah.
Cool. I used to actually collect jars of bugs and snails and millipedes and centipedes.
Oh, man.
My mom said if he's not going to be a doctor, he's going to be a serial killer. So let's steer him towards the science.
Listen, I think you made the right choice. Let me just say that. I think you made the right choice. And Lenore said, let her get her flight ready. So tell us how does it look in Zimbabwe? Like, what is it like? Is it beautiful over there? I can only imagine, like, the beauty and just the environment.
It's gorgeous. One of the things that I miss about Zimbabwe on a daily basis is really like the greenery, the lush greenery, but also like the stark contrast of the lush greenery with like the city lights. Like it's so close together. So you know how America basically has an interstate that separates sort of like between cities. So if you're going from, say you're going from, one city to the next, you go on the interstate, right? And so it's just, miles and miles of nothing, basically, right? You're just looking at on the sides. It's usually just like, some greenery or trees or something of the sort. Most cities in Zimbabwe are connected by post office. So you go through the city. So you're going through the city. So it's interconnected between like green, luscious, surrounding with buildings and then, all kinds of stuff. So you get to really...
It's all like integrated. It's all like integrated, man. It's like you're in nature, but you also have...
Yeah.
Wow. So were you a good student, man? Like, you say you were not and you got in trouble, but like, were you a good science student or whatever? Or was that sort of like your hobbies, or like, how were you as academically speaking?
For the longest, I was average, So in Zimbabwe, they do grading differently. So every semester or every term, the top 10 of the class are bumped up into, A class, and then bottom 10 are bumped up into, C class, and there are only 3 classes. And so for all the way from primary school, from kindergarten, you could say all the way up to like high school, I was always in that middle class, B class. I never moved up or down.
Yeah.
Somewhere, I think along the lines of, I think when I started taking my SATs, actually, that's when I just started getting serious more with biology and chemistry. I really loved chemistry. And that's when I got into the A class, and that just, basically, that's one thing that happened, and then led me to the next,
Led you to the next, yeah. So whose idea was it? And for y'all who just joined us again, this is Dr. Mook. I put it in the bio, I said Dr. Mook, the hip-hop biochemist himself, you know what I mean? We're going to get into that aspect of STEAM, but like, what made you decide, to officially get into the areas of STEM, and whatever made you come to America to do it, even to begin with? Like, what was it around that time when you were graduating from high school that led you the path that you went down?
Money, actually. My dad bribed me because at a teacher's conference, one of my teachers literally said to my dad, "So Tamuka is a decent student, but he's really average because he doesn't read. He doesn't doing what he does.
Oh man.
On a daily basis, he doesn't use textbooks." And my dad said, "If you are able to get an A and get into that top class, I'll give you," and I think at that time it was like $10 or something. It wasn't even.
He knew your price.
And I moved up into that next class. That was that. I remember that being very vividly a motivator for me that got me into there. And then once I came to America, my first year as a freshman, I met my mentor, Dr. Nicholas Panasic, at Claflin University, and I volunteered as a dishwasher, again, for money, As students living there, you had to leave during the summers and, breaks and stuff. You had to leave the dorms, which meant that I needed to find housing every single summer, every single winter break, spring break, Thanksgiving break. Yeah. And so I quickly made friends, that's how I joined the fraternity and all that. But also I discovered research, because research jobs, internships, you get a stipend, but also you get accommodation as well as food. So again, money was a motivator.
Man, I'm telling you.
By the time I reached my senior year, I really fallen in love with science, and not just science, but particularly research. The idea of thinking of an idea and then going to find the answer right there and then, being the first one to know the answer, and then doing that repetitively over and over again. It reminded me of my days with those caterpillars and those jars.
Exactly. Except for this time, you got room and board and tuition paid for it. Right, you know what I mean? Yup, I'm with Lenore. Dollar bill, y'all. Yep. That's cool, man. So, we had a guest on before that talked about how, like, she didn't even know what research was. I think that was Stephanie. She was like, I didn't even know research was a thing, And we hear the term a lot, and sometimes we're tempted, as she said, to think it just means Google. Like, Google is research, going online and searching. But it actually, like you said, having this idea and developing this program around finding the answers to what you're trying to find out. But I'm curious, man, like in school, a lot of us have those experiences where it was almost like our rite of passage, like our initiation, until like, we go from this, this child to this adult, almost, whether it's like a hard class or some experience in the lab that we have. And I'm wondering if you could take us to any particular experience that you had in college that was for you, like sort of that transition point where you feel like it really grew you and matured you.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about initiation points. I mean,
there we go.
I remember distinctly trying to juggle a full load, right? All the while maintaining a research position. And so, yeah, like you mentioned, like research, people don't really know what it was. And I didn't know what it was when I started as a dishwasher, only to find out, you know, it's actually going into the lab, basically mixing a bunch of chemicals, particularly, you know, biochemistry research. You know, there's research of all forms and all kinds, but it requires work. You're getting paid for doing manual labor. It's a lot of a lot of using your hands, pipetting up and down invisible fluids and waiting to see color change. And that's a lot of time away from your books. And with the full class load, trying to balance that as well as the thing that's, you know, paying you, but also is fascinating you, trying not to spend too much time doing the research and focusing more on the class. You know, that's really, really hard. And then at the same time, you want to have a social life. It's college. And I always say, like, you know, for people who say, oh, you can learn everything online, blah, 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 which is all true. You know, you can definitely do independent study. But what you can't get from an online, you know, education that's not at a college experience is that bonding time, that adult period, learning about different people and how different people work and operate, learning teamwork. You know, being in a group project and being the one who has to, you know, wake everybody up and rally
falling asleep at the library.
Social events. And so juggling all of that, that's when I realized that time management is a thing that is a factor for success for the rest of my life. That was my biggest major key that I took away from there, was that my 24 hours a day is mine. And if I don't figure out a way to organize it and maximize each hour in 24 hours, I'm gonna fail at not just research, but everything across the board. It's like juggling plates. You don't just drop one plate; all of them collapse at the same time. You know. And
listen, man, I feel you. If y'all resonate, if you're watching this, you resonate. Give us some hearts. Give us some comments. Let us know if you feel him. You know what I mean? Time management is key. And you said something, Tamuka. You said, you know, that 24 hours, man. And I've heard people say, you know, something that we have in common with Oprah, with LeBron James, with, you know, all the successful people is that we still only have 24 hours. With Beyonce, how can I forget? Like, even Beyonce, as awesome as she is, she only has 24 hours a day. And it comes down to how you use your 24. So I love that. Yep. But y'all don't know, he is an avid Beyonce fan. He is a member of the Beehive, certified. You know what I mean? Card carrying member.
No, you're totally right. Like, I always sometimes think about these successful people. They have the same amount of time that I do every day. And when you hear people say that, you know, it sounds really belittling, and it sounds like, oh, okay, but what's the actual practical tool? Are you just, you know, smoking air? And for me, the tool of time management was realizing that my 24 hours is different from your 24 hours, Nehemiah, and it's different from the next person's 24 hours. So I need to optimize my 24 hours as best suited for me. Like, for instance, like, I'm a nighttime person. Like, my mind is on fire at night, you know? And
I can relate.
I am slow. I'm very slow. So I remember those 8 o'clock classes, they were difficult for me. My first year, second year, you know, and in grad school, oh my goodness, that was that was the bane of my existence. But once I realized that, okay, I am a nighttime person. How can I optimize my schedule so that I am maximizing my time at night? And so even now, my schedule, I work normally at nights. You know, so even now as an essential worker with this whole COVID-19 thing, you know, we do things in shifts. And what has been helpful is actually that I take the night shift, you know, and it's like, wow, that's, you know, that's the optimal time for me to work, which means that in the daytime, I can sleep, I can catch up with whatever, but also at nighttime, Zimbabwe is 9 hours ahead. So I can literally multitasking while I'm on the phone, catching up with mom. Who did what? Okay, all right. You know, while doing whatever.
No distractions in the lab. Like, nobody's coming in out the lab distracting you.
Right. Nobody's distracting you. You can put your Beyonce on full blast and listen to music. And energize for doing the mundane tasks that sometimes research gets really mundane. That's what people tell you. You know, it's a lot of monotony because you have to be consistent. You have to do multiple things over and over again. You have to invest a lot of time in order to get things done. So you have to make the environment comfortable for you. You have to optimize the environment and the time to be customized to you as a person. And that's what I learned early on, and that's been really helpful for me throughout. You know?
Yeah. No, man, I think that's pretty dope. I can relate, man. I'm definitely a nighttime person too. I've tried so many times to change, man, but I get in that zone in the middle of the night, and it's like I just become 10 times more productive in the middle of the night. So
right. You just become more productive when you work at the time that works for you. You know, it doesn't mean
works for you.
It becomes easier, but it's just that when you're working at your most optimal time, that's what it works. And then a second major key is caffeine for the times that when you're not a nighttime person, you know, a morning person, caffeine, I'm telling you guys, will change your life. If you're not drinking caffeine, it's not because of the taste. I'm telling you, these people drinking caffeine, it's not for the taste. It's
not for the taste.
Widely used drug.
that jolt of energy it brings. I hear you, man. Hey, shout out to Public Health Bay. She says, hey, Dr. Nate, hey, Dr. Mook. Good to see you. Good to see you in the building. She said, oh, Jude, thanks for coming through. Nice, says, get the picture. Lenore can relate. She says she knows stand up late, and those late night conversations are always funny. And they give us energy too, man. We catching up with moms, catching up with grandma, catching up with the cousin, hearing all the tea from back at home. You know what I mean?
Right. Spilling all that.
While you do your
tea. And Chanel knows all about the good tea. Hello.
Chanel.
I can't see the comments anymore, but I think it's because my whole thing is becoming staticky. But
okay.
I totally agree with that. And even in the times when I think also the third thing that I learned was also like about passion, you know, because even when you say nighttime person, morning time person, that's after graduating became a little bit hazy to me, because I saw this quote from somebody who said, you know, you're a nighttime person or you're not a morning person until you find the thing that drives your passion. Because now I'm up morning, day, and night. You know,
I hear you. I hear you.
Myself to go to sleep because once I found this thing that I love so much, which is, you know, my research, my work that I do, I can go hours and hours. You know, so I don't know if I told you. You know, so you said you're in my bio, I'm a computational biologist. And what does that mean?
Yeah.
Here at the Institute for Protein Design, I literally make brand new molecules from scratch. The molecules that I make are proteins using computational biology. And then I taste those proteins using biochemistry methods in the actual lab. So I spend 50% of my time on the computer coding, you know, Python, all that kind of jazz, C++. And then once I have something workable with, I switch over, put on my lab coat, and I go into the lab and test all of these things that I made in silico and see if they actually work as real life. And I mean, come on, like that's, for me, the first time I got a molecule, it was like, oh, wow.
That's it, man. You're adding knowledge. You're creating, you're adding to the body of knowledge that didn't exist prior to you coming along. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a
that
good
is
point.
Amazing.
It's similar to the PhD process itself. That's how you felt.
Right.
Sure, at the end, you know, when you have
exactly, totally.
You submit your thesis, you're like, this is a body of knowledge into the world that never existed before. That's such a good point. Yeah. Now imagine adding on to that and I own this specific molecule. I have a patent.
IP.
Literally.
Come on now, IP. Hey, let me tell you, this is a free game, y'all. Listen, get your IP up. If you're watching this, take a note from Dr. Mook's lab notebook, and get your IP up. Get your intellectual property up. Dr. Ja Hayes always talking about that too, man. I love it, man. When you can actually put your name on it and say, hey, this came from up here. Right? And just to be honest, it came from the mind of a black man. You know what I mean? It's just awesome. Right. It's just awesome to be able to say that. Yeah, that's dope, man.
That's so true. That is so true. That's a major point right there, especially when you look around and you're one out of whatever. You know, when I first joined this lab, you know, which the Institute for Protein Design is now, it's like, when I joined it was like 100 people, you know. Now it's a little bit more. And I feel like they literally changed like the the statistics to, okay, 1% black now, you know, because 1 out of 100, you know.
Hey, you know what I mean?
But that's normal in science, you know, which is not great, you know. It's all throughout science, any science organization at any level. You know, I worked for a pharmaceutical company in Boston, and there I was one out of a few. You know, in my even at Claflin, at a historically black college, anytime we went to conferences, it was us versus, it was like, oh, okay, we in this room.
Y'all stood out. Y'all stood out. People noticed y'all. Oh, okay, I see.
Right? Yeah. That's a really common thing, which is another reason why I decided to not just leave the research at the research bench, but take it out of the lab and show the world, because visibility and representation matters.
Absolutely.
Young, up and coming, Tamukas and Nehemiahs are looking into the sphere and are being told that all you're good for is, sports and music. And that message, because it keeps on being said over and over again, some people might believe it. I don't know about you, but there was a time when I really was looking around, with the imposter syndrome creeping in, and I was like, maybe there's a reason why it's not a lot of us out here. Maybe I shouldn't be here, and that's a horrible feeling and then wrong.
It is,
and so the more we are visible, the more we are out here talking about this, which is why I am just like,
listen, man. Listen. You already know you're in my wheelhouse, man. And the thing is, sometimes when we don't see it, we have to go to our minds. We have to go and imagine it and then see ourselves in places where, even now, right? I do some adjunct professing. I'm a professor, part-time. And at times, man, I think about the fact how, I don't speak or look or even go about my teaching the same way as most of the professors that I had. But at the same time, my presence and me doing this is showing that there is a place for people who may not fit the normal traditional mold that we've seen when we went through school. And so, our existence is our visibility is extremely important. And so I'm with you 100%, man. You already know I'm with that 100%. So I'm so glad you touched on it.
Visibility of, us as black men, but also I see what you have been doing with your platform. You are uplifting others, because, you can't win alone. Just winning alone is not enough. You have to lift up everyone. And my first interview of yours that I saw was actually with Lenora. You were interviewing Lenora.
Shout out to Lenora.
And I was
she's on the line
to her, and also your interview, and I was like, wow, that's amazing, because you're now also using your voice as not just a black person, but also a black male, using your male privilege to uplift black women, Latinas. I saw your interview with the
Stephanie and other
And you own
awesome, man.
That's the other thing. You are creating, it's this ownership, so that's
IP, man. IP. Get your IP up. Cool, man.
IP up.
We're gonna have to coin that. Lenore, we gotta coin that, Lenore. She got some IP out there. She's doing phenomenal work. Shout out to everybody. As a matter of fact, let me ask this question. Gets the Picture asks a great question. With all the knowledge you're getting now, is it open source for everyone to do? He thinks it might be a crazy question, but just give us a little idea as far as what you're getting when you understand and you're learning these molecules, you're inventing these molecules. How does that knowledge get passed on? Is it open source? What is it? Explain that a little bit.
That's a great question, because that's the what's it called? The best kept secret in science is that a lot of people believe that science is hard and elitist because of the nature of science. It's only for certain people. And it almost seems like somebody went through a great deal to make it look like that, right?
Look like that, yeah.
You and I know that a lot of people behind these scenes are making way more money than these athletes, than these rappers, than these hip hop kids. And
we don't even know who they are. We're in the grocery store right next to them, but they got money.
They're owning these drug companies. I'm talking about people in my cohort, literally owning $1 million drug companies, And that's the best kept secret. But here's what people don't know. Science, all of it is open source. And there are different levels of it. Obviously, there are different levels of open source. But at the very basic level, when we're talking about PhDs, the whole goal of your PhD is to come up with a body of knowledge and publish it. Your
Put it
PhD
out.
is public. My PhD is public. Anyone's, a Chanel.
And you can build on top of it, so that people can build on top of it. People can build on top of it,
And not just build on top of it, but you can literally read what I did to make my molecule and do it yourself. And yes, the coding platform that we use is called Rosetta, which is a language suite of its own. And that's, you have C++, you have Python, you have Bash scripting, that kind of stuff. Rosetta uses a little bit of its own language. It was built first in C++, but now incorporates its own language. But all of that is available for anyone to download for academic purposes, of course. And you can learn it. It obviously has a steep learning curve, but if you're determined to learn anything, as we're finding more and more with coding, that once you get it, it's like magic, right? It's like you're just saying spells and things are happening. and so that's one thing that I've been wanting to tell people for a really long time, particularly people who look like you and I, is that all this stuff, like there's nothing special about me that makes me a scientist. There's nothing special about me that makes me a doctor that allowed me to get those 3 letters. It's literally just access to information. I got the access to information earlier on because somebody passed it on to me. Somebody gave me that plug. I took that plug, put it into a wall, and that's literally it. And so when I talk about to my students, as I do this hip hop biochemistry thing, I try to meet them in the space where they're at, where they're, jiving and talking about the shit, comments, talking about data pictures, and while we're talking about that, I slip in a little bit of, okay, did you know? Plays this coding person in Matrix, there's something about code,
there you go.
You know what I mean? Like,
there you go.
A little bit of knowledge. And once you have somebody who's enthusiastic about this stuff, it's almost like it's its own running train, it just goes up. I've seen so many students who before looking at my Nicki Minaj, protein biochemistry tutorial, thought that science was not for them, or that they were too stupid for science, and then they started reading it and started like listening to me comparing, Nicki Minaj lyrics with protein sequences, and they're like, wait a minute, there's rhyme and reason here, and then let me ignore a little bit of that hip hop. Let me focus on the science and actually falling in love with the science as they kept on going, because science, like any other piece of knowledge, is accessible to anyone. If you're a sports nerd and fanatic, you are just learning a lot of stats and numbers, and you're memorizing that, but you're also making patterns and drawing correlations and predictions. You can do that in science. You can do that in you can do that in engineering.
Totally.
Sports, a football player or a soccer player, you're memorizing plays, you're memorizing goals. You have a discipline of making sure that you're consistent and putting in that work and time that we talked about earlier. You already have the skill sets, the tools that are needed, and so that's it. Making that connection,
that's it. Facts, man. Facts. Y'all give them some hearts, give them some love. Y'all gotta give them some love. Listen, layers, what Lenora said. Layers, man, definitely. Good to see you, Teresa. Thanks for coming through. Y'all give them some hearts. This is Dr. Mook, the hip hop biochemist, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, man. I am interested to know how you came up with the idea. And as you were just saying, right, one thing I learned about, hip hop and just even like writing as it relates to spoken word, because we have a program called Technometric Spoken Word, where we encourage students to write like bars, to write pieces about whatever topic they want, but they have to use technical concepts and ideas. And what you're doing, when you're going through that process, even the process of writing a rhyme or whatever, you're finding connections, right, that don't always seem apparent. You're using, metaphors and similes, and you're bringing things together and showing how they compare and contrast in ways that bring deeper meaning. And that is ultimately what we're doing in the process of pushing the scientific boundary forward. And so the connection makes perfect sense to me, and I think more and more people are starting to see that. But I'm interested, like, your origin story of how you created, and give us a little more detail of this course that you got called Hip Hop Biochemistry, man. Break that down a little bit more.
Yeah, my pleasure. I really love what you just said about using spoken word to teach. And you can really use any sort of a hobby. And that was sort of like my impetus was like, I'm in lab all the time, late at night. I'm listening to Nicki Minaj, who I think is the greatest female rapper of all time.
We have an argument. I can see it. She got bars, man. I got to give it to her, man. Nicki got bars.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to her, and it's pumping me up. I'm listening to Monster. I'm listening to whatever. It's pumping me up.
Their best.
Potentially, sometimes monotonous thing that I may not be super excited about. I'm excited about the results, but I have to put in that work. And so I'm
process
this music, and it's really getting me amped up. And I'm doing all of this mixing, and time flies by, and 5 years have already gone by. I am a doctor now. I'm like, oh my goodness, wait a minute. I not only do I have this whole body of knowledge in biochemistry and computational biology, but I also have all of these lyrics. Like, I can spit rhymes like Nikki and memorize those rhymes in the same way. And I've used some of those rhymes as mnemonic devices to kind of spur on my knowledge, And so, one of the greatest ones, I found actually a small molecule that's called CARDI.
CARDI molecule.
Because it's alanine, arginine, aspartate, as well as isoleucine. These are amino acids that make up proteins that make up literally almost everything in our body is proteins, saliva in our mouth, antibodies, all that kind of stuff. And I found this molecule attached to another different antibody, which is a molecule that fights against diseases, and it is actually attached to the molecule that it's an antibody for HIV, so it neutralizes HIV. And in the sequence of that antibody is Nikki. And so this was at the height of all of the beef, and I was like,
Cardi B and Nikki, oh man.
Nature's beef antibodies versus viruses and bacteria can be replicated in rat beef, which is that
layers.
People need to remember now.
Yes.
Get that. Like, that's in my knowledge. Now learning more about this, glycoprotein 1, which is like the name of this protein, learning more about this protein was so easy for me. It was fun for me. It was motivating.
That's crazy.
Things like that is an example for my course, because I then decided
No, I'm just tripping. So you have a module, you have a video in your course on that same thing?
Yeah, I do. So I actually pull up the actual molecule versus the peptide, the CARDI. I pull up CARDI and I show the interaction, and I explain the links and the very end.
Oh man, that's dope.
And so when I realized that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe there are many examples in science that are not necessarily exciting. Because for me, like, a lot of people say science is boring. That's the other thing. Right? Those who don't say it's difficult or it's monotonous, say it's boring. And you know what? I kind of agree. The way we teach science is so boring. It's after slide of prerequisite information that you have to remember. There's no sort of enthusiasm. Usually these professors are just droning on and on and on, and that makes it boring, And so, and why are the examples that we use, and we use examples when we're teaching science to, connect something that is known from the student to an unknown, different concept, right?
That's it.
That's why we use physics. In physics we use cars metaphors, we use sports metaphors. When you're learning about hydraulics and hydraulic engines and stuff like that, you learn about.
It's more relatable. More tangible. These are tangible things. Yeah.
Right, but then these examples are the same examples that have been used over how many years? They've not changed. We're still talking about piston pumps in cars, which nowadays electric cars don't even have those.
That's true.
Like,
wow.
What are you making these examples for? And it kind of makes sense that a lot of these examples are very like cis, straight, white, male, heteronormative, And so what I thought was, instead of taking away those examples, why don't we add more? Why don't we diversify those examples? Because the point of an analogy or an example is to say something that's known and bring you to somewhere where it's unknown. So if you start talking to me about cricket, and how the velocity and trajectory of it.
Come on now.
Because I have to go look up what cricket is, how cricket is played in order to understand this math concept, Instead, how about you tell me about Gucci Mane? Tell me about the physics that made Gucci Mane from old Gucci Mane to new Gucci Mane. How about you when you're talking about proteins and keratin, tell me about Beyonce with the good hair. Tell me about the protein that makes up good hair.
You know what I mean? Right. The old Kanye from the new Kanye. Like, let us know what is the difference.
Oh, child. No science can fix that. Oh my God.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I was thinking maybe biochemistry has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm just throwing that in.
That's some quantum physics, I'm telling you.
There we go. There we go.
Out of this world. Okay.
Yeah.
But when I realized that, I said, "Oh, I could use pop culture references and because pop culture, popular culture, by definition, is reaching the widest. It's popular. That's what popular means.
Popular culture,
right now, and for the last, like, maybe I would even say 10 years, hip hop has been pop culture.
Has been pop culture, yeah. Totally. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Think of the #1 songs in the last few decades. You know, the one that Lil Nas X just toppled over was Mariah Carey. You know,
yes.
It's like we have been dominating pop culture for a really long time. So why not use those references? And then it's not like it hasn't been done before. You know, when you start looking up where the videos of music have been used to teach, you know, neuroscience or teach physics, you start finding a lot of information that actually shows that when students learn through videos and imagery, you know, they learn faster and retain more information than using, you know, slide projectors or textbooks.
Slide projector, yeah. You gotta make it. You gotta make it relatable. Yeah.
Right, and also, like, I had a mentor. I was actually his TA for biochemistry here at the University of Washington, and he went to Tibet. His name was David Kimmelman, and he went to Tibet to teach monks, Buddhist monks, about the ebbs and flows of developmental biology by using Buddhism principles. And I'm like, well, if he can do that with that culture, I can do that with my own culture, right? You know?
Yeah, totally.
Have an entire, and this is sort of like my future goal, I want to have an entire, like, research article, like a publication, all in just Ebonics, memes, and
no, we don't. You know, listen, STEMedia, if nobody else publishes, STEMedia will publish it. I promise you. Right. We will flat out post that.
I will hold you to that.
Hey, man, I would love to see something like that. That's pretty cool. I just want to shout out some people. I think Stephanie Biggs 20 said, "I wish you were my professor." Crying emojis. Absolutely love you.
I'm so glad I can't see these comments. My comments are frozen, so I can't.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, like Teresa even said, she'd be hella excited if she took your classes, right? She would love to take your classes. Lenora says, decolonize science. I love that, Lenora. We gotta make that a hashtag. That needs to go viral. Decolonize science. We were talking about it. Yeah, absolutely.
And the more you start doing this, the more you realize that there are people in the space who have been looking into this. You know, already into mind when you type on Twitter or anywhere and you type hashtag hip hop ed as an education. There's a whole pedagogy conference going on over there. You know, like
what's his name? Chris Emdin. It's just part of the start of that. Yeah. We've been following him for a minute. Yeah.
There are people using hip hop to teach architecture, to teach history, to teach literature, to teach teaching. You know, they're using hip hop to teach how to teach, how to be a better teacher. You know,
that's it.
Why can't you use science? And then I started finding people who are using it to teach science. You know, I think
hip hop MD. Hip Hop Science Show. Yeah, Maynard. Shout out to Maynard. Shout out to you, man. Yeah,
and he was one of the people I did the Instagram live with, and I started discovering a whole community of, you know, these thought thinkers, these leaders like you, Nehemiah.
Yeah.
You know? And then I found somebody who connected my two worlds, female rap and science analogies.
Oh, Raven. You got to go love the Raven and science. Raven. Yeah, much love to her. Yes, absolutely.
I tell you, I flipped out when I found her and I heard her album Protocol is out, and she has a song called ATGC, which are literally the DNA bases. Like everyone's DNA is made of 4 letters. ATGC. She makes so many puns, so many references to science and culture. Like there's the one time when she says, throw it like in a circle, like a particle accelerator. I
said, bars. Raven be coming with the bars. Shout out to her. Raven's on the way to doing big things. Shout out to her, man. And I just love that we are building this community, because it's like, you know, a lot of attention even lately turning towards our community. But like we said before, we've been here. We've been out here. And I just feel like the time is right for us to continue to come together, continue to amplify each other, scientists look, but this is also what a scientist looks like. This is what it means to be an educator. This is a way that you can also understand this technical information. And so I love that you're doing that, man, with your platform as well. And listen, I know more and more is coming our way from hip hop biochemistry.
Definitely. I really want to, because I agree with you. Like, I think when we're talking about uplifting the African diaspora, and and talking about and not just African diaspora, I like I say Black diaspora because maybe not everyone identifies as African, but you're Black and you're anywhere in the world, in Europe, in Africa, continental Africa, here in America, and you're Black, like you can tap into this culture because it's not that like we are connected by genetics. No, we're not. Because like the human race is 99% identical when it comes to DNA. The differences between Black and white, between gender, added to the differences between age, all makes up less than 0.2% of your DNA.
Crazy thought. So, so
it's not that, but it's our lived experience on this planet that bonds us. The shared experiences of whether it's apartheid, colonization, slavery in America, or even integration, the Renaissance period. You start learning that struggle, really, which is what it was, has made us a family, that honestly would not have known each other if it wasn't for the hardships that we have faced. And through those hardships, we've also found joy. We've found the rhythm. There's even
creativity. The nod? Okay, the nod.
And that was one of the first things that I realized when I came to America, that it was like, oh, wait a minute, this is, like, Blackness is global. You know what I mean? Like, in Zim, you walk down the street, you see anyone you see, it's, what's up?
What up?
You don't have time to say hello, whatever, and you're probably not going to do that if you're a stranger. But it's a little, I see you, that's it. And in South Carolina, like day one, like getting on the bus,
what up?
it was,
you saw the nod already. You never met these people anywhere. Yeah, you already knew. You already knew it was that connection, man. Well, man, I love that, man. I love when you speak of connection. I feel like there's always been a connection between like-minded people, myself, STEMedia, people like you. No matter how long we have not known each other, we know each other now, and it's almost like we gave a virtual nod to each other, and I'm just super happy to have had you on, man. And so how can we further connect with you, though? Let's let our people know who are watching this, whether it's on replay or right here on live. How can people further connect and get involved and just support what you got going on?
Yeah, definitely go to my website. It's got the same name as my Instagram name, which is Tamuka Investments. I have my website, tamukainvestments.com. YouTube, Tamuka Investments, Instagram, Tamuka Investments. Keep up with me. I'm learning from giants like you about content creation. Because when we're talking about ownerships and body of works, like people don't think of content creation in the same field. But I mean, come on, Nehemiah, flex for them a little bit. Like, you're a platform, and as an early member, like it looks like it's going to be the Netflix of STEM, and that's
we're on our way. We're on our way.
I'm learning, how to produce content, and all my courses and all my lectures are all available on my website. If you just go to tamukainvestments.com, there are many portals that will lead you to there. Also, you can just hashtag hip hop biochemistry. You will likely find me, and we can both stimulate together. Stimulate spelled with that STE, technology, engineering, mathematics, because everything has to be interdisciplinary. So
yes, definitely, and that's the thing, man. I mean, I really feel like STEAM didn't exist I didn't hear of it as an acronym when I came up with the name STEMedia, but that was exactly the essence of what I was trying to get at. Taking the technical disciplines and creating, combining the creative interests, which is what STEAM is all about. And so I love that you're doing that. I love that you're uplifting, again, the diaspora with STEAM. And it looks like you're freezing up a little bit, man, but we got to get some parting words of wisdom from you, Tamuka. We got to make sure you leave us. You've been so great of a guest. You've been just on 10 as it relates to just the positive vibes, the positive energy. So I'm wondering, and I'm hoping that this technology will allow you to give us some parting words of wisdom. I'm hoping that we can get that in. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? All right, there we go. There we go.
I can hear you.
Yeah, man. What can you leave us with? What can you leave us with, man, as we go into this week?
Words, I will just say, you know, in the words, I don't want to quote Beyonce again. I've done that enough. Let me not.
Do your thing, man. We ain't mad.
Times, the best thing that we can do right now is what we're doing right now, Nehemiah. We are exhibiting Black joy. Do you know why that is great? It's because racists, haters, they hate seeing us smile. They hate seeing us happy. We are boiling their Ovaltine. And so the best resistance that you and I can do, or anyone who's tuned in right now, is to not only be successful, but thrive in your joyness and show your joyness proudly. Be visibly Black, be visibly an ally, be visibly yourself, because that will piss them off, you know?
Yeah,
and that will also show those are coming behind you that whatever they're being told, you know, is a lie. You know, they can live to be whatever they want to be. It's not a matter of capability. It's a matter of desire, you know, provided the right resources. But you are an exact, you know, example for future people who are coming up. And so, yeah, let's all celebrate and be happy.
You too, man. You too, man. And I just got to get this word in, bro. You already know I support you. You already know STEMedia is a place that, you know, just your unique brand is welcome along with so many others. And I just want to affirm you. Continue to do what you're doing. I know that the best is yet to come. And if people don't like these smiles, I can tell them that there are two that they're going to have to get used to seeing right here, right now. Tonight on STEMedia Live, bro. So thank you so much, Tamuka. Y'all listen, y'all got to give him some love. What up, Gino? What up, Stephanie? Y'all give our guest, Dr. Mook, some love as Instagram gets ready to count us down, count us off. Thank you so much, man, for coming on, bro. I hope you have a great weekend. And this, you know, we're definitely going to connect more and more in the future.
And thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for everyone who watched and was chiming in. I really appreciate it. Again, okay?
All right. Peace. Take care.
Peace. All right.
Peace. All right, y'all. Again, join us next week on STEMedia Live. Same time, same place, every Sunday evening. Thank you all for coming. Teresa, good to see you. Stephanie, Gino, Lenore, always appreciate you. Thanks for coming through. You all go to STEMedia on YouTube. We're leaning in, STEMedia.com/YouTube, and hit subscribe, as we are going to continue to simulcast this there and continue to bring more inspiration.